I love that song! Okay. I didn't change the name of the stream. Okay, so hello guys. Welcome to Pope Fire the Starfire God. It is Comic Book Club. And we're also doing a free chibi giveaway, and I'm saying that while typing it. I had forgotten to change I was waiting on my food, which still hasn't got here. Thank you, Grubhub. I was waiting on my goddamn food, and we were running late because I was like, as soon as we start the stream, the food's gonna get here, and every time it happens. Still hasn't got here yet though, so we'll see if I actually get to eat. But yes.
Next time, just pretend to start the stream, then you'll get the burger quicker.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I probably should have done that. But for this stream, we are doing cough dab. Oh, you're hilarious, Yvonne. For this stream, we are doing the 1,000 sub chibi giveaway. So what you need to do to win the chibi is it's gonna be one winner. We're gonna pick somebody at random. You need to put your favorite character, and your favorite character is the one that's going to be turned into a chibi. Now, if you want your favorite character to be wearing a shirt, say Starfire wearing a t-shirt or something like that. So if you want the chibi, comment your favorite character. We're going to remind you guys several times throughout the stream. And then at the end of the stream, we'll let the pressure of picking fall on my guest. And I'll let them vote on what they think should be the winner. All right, people. We are going to start. And this week we're doing something kind of different because Comic Book Club kind of got messed up because of some stuff out of our control. And we are going to we're going to review our favorite comic books and kind of talk about them and explain them to our friends who probably haven't read them yet. And we are going to start with Raggedy because Raggedy is our leader and we love him.
All right. My choice was X-Men number 275 from 1991, I think it was. This was actually the first modern day X-Men comic I read. I grew up reading X-Men classics, which were reprints of older issues. And this was the first one where I dived in and experienced the modern X-Men. And I had no idea who half the characters were when I jumped in. But it was such a good issue. It's basically, for those who don't know, it's the X-Men go into space to find Professor X, who's been living with his booty call for the past few years. But they need him to come back to Earth because the Shadow King has returned, is starting to cause chaos. And Xavier's the only one capable of taking him out. And it's just such a good book. It's got lots of, the artwork is just, look at this spaceship here, these two spaceships. It's got an awesome fight between the Imperial Guard and the Starjammers and the X-Men. And it's Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. And yeah, I just love the art and the story in it. It's got an awesome, I love this Wolverine here. This is a depowered Wolverine, by the way. It's his healing factor is messing up at this storyline. But yeah, it's a great story. It leads into the Mur Island saga. It's got a great B-plot featuring Rogue teaming up with Nick Fury, Kazar, and Magneto to take down a woman in the Savage Land who has basically taken over Magneto's fortress and is stealing his powers. So it's got Savage Land. Half the issue is Savage Land jungle action. The other half is space action, which the X-Men does really well. And it's just a great issue all around.
Plus, they had the classic Rogue, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Rogue.
Wearing her shield armor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's always weird to me when the X-Men and the Avengers collaborate. I will be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I told you it would happen as soon as I started the
stream. It's a cool team up because it's not someone you see. It's Nick Fury leading the expedition, and Rogue doesn't have her powers until right at the end of the issue. She's lost her powers several months ago, and because she and Carol Danvers got separated, so Magneto had the plan to have her and Carol Danvers fight, and the winner got the powers basically. And so her powers are slowly coming back, and yeah, you get to see her kick butt. She punches a T-Rex at one point.
Whoa, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's dinosaur punching in this book?
Rogue punches a T-Rex. It's right when her powers come back. It bites her and she's in its mouth, and it's getting through her armor, and she punches it on the snoot and it goes down.
This is also the one where she had the green on the cover of the Rogue. Basically, her costume was basically shredded, right? Or is this afterwards?
No. This is long after. This is she wears the shield uniform.
Okay, because remember the one where she's trapped on the Savage Land with Magneto.
Yeah, that's leading up to this one. Yeah, the whole thing, because this is at a time where her and Magneto were kind of a love interest. It wasn't her and Gambit.
Yeah, it was weird reading this. I'm going back and reading these, and then you read them later on, and
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. So it was her and Magneto, and then at the end, this is where that relationship kind of breaks up, because at the end, Magneto, I think her name's Zaldane. She they beat her, and Nick Fury's getting ready to take her into custody, and Magneto's like, "Oh hell no! This woman's held me prisoner for months and been stealing my powers," and basically just causes a bunch of jagged pieces of metal just to fly out.
Yep.
Kill her.
And this is right before she was paired up with Gambit, right?
This is right. It leads up into the Mur Island saga, which was kind of the reset button for the X-Men. After that, you saw the X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue, which the X-Men Blue is the one that the '90s cartoon is based off of. That team.
No way, really?
Yeah, so that's where she and Gambit first kind of start hooking up. Gambit's actually flirting with Psylocke at one point during this.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, this is the Murrah Island saga is underrated too. That's a great one too. But yeah, this is the one. It's the one Cyclops and them. They were X Factor at the time, the original team, and this is the one that brought them back into the fold and yeah, mixed all the teams up.
Now, is there any complaints you have with this comic?
Not at all. Not anything I can think of. Not. If you're picking it up just to pick it up, it does end on a cliffhanger. So the one complaint I would say is you need to kind of pick up the one after that and maybe the one before too.
Yeah. Real quick, Dark and Link, we decided last minute because of stuff that happened 2 weeks ago that we were gonna do a comic book club like this, and then we'll go back to normal comic book club next week. So I promise you we will read your book. It's just right now we kind of needed to do something a little bit more what would you call this? Well, we wanted to do
Last
our favorite books. Yeah, like
Yeah.
last minute.
Spur of the moment.
Now Speedy.
Mhm.
Oh wait, real quick. Guys, do not forget to put your chibi request in the chat because we cannot pick you as a winner unless you put your chibi down. We will have the winner at the end of the stream. All right, Speedy, what book did you pick?
Now, initially, I was choosing the Teen Titans Spotlight on Cyborg, but I think I might save that for a later time. But if there is a book that I still consider my favorite, now we've reviewed it before, but it's still New Teen Titans issue 20, because that's still a book that I wish I could have explained a little bit better and done more justice on whenever I talked about it before, because that's one of the earliest Teen Titans books that ever just struck a chord with me, because it was the story where Wally West is telling his family about the incident with the disruptor, where his father his father just looks down on him, and he takes the fall for his father in that book, but his father still just never accepts him. That's the only thing the kid wanted. And this is something that made Wally decide that, well, he already felt this way, but he thanks his parents for the fairly simple life that he's had, without any like family resentment or any of the type of struggles that even Dick Grayson and some of the other Titans have had either. when it came to their family. And then seeing it end with that touching little ending of him deciding that he's going to take the letter himself to his parents. Just everything about that book, the way it was written, just seeing the little story that Wally told, and just imagining the way what was going through Wally's head whenever he was writing this letter and everything, and how he was actually feeling. That's one of the things that made that issue truly special to me. And it's still one of my favorite books for Teen Titans.
Nice.
And it was like, there's not really nothing I can really complain about in that book, because it went with the perfect amount of time, perfect pacing, perfect artwork, perfect amount of storytelling and character development. And there was still action in the book, despite the framing device of it being a letter.
Is that the one we read a while back? It was
Yeah, it was issue 20 of New Teen Titans, Dear Mom and Dad.
who did they fight in that?
Well, it was one where the Disruptor was the villain.
Disruptor, that's right. Yeah, that one was real good.
Yeah. And like we had talked about it before, but I felt like I didn't really do it justice when I talked about it previously.
No, that's cool.
And I was like, but yeah, that's if there's ever a time that if there's a story that made a case for Wally West being interesting like his time as the Flash, that was the book.
So I had a stupid Pope moment.
Oh,
I had muted myself and was talking the entire time.
poor Pope.
Wow.
But yeah, Dead Boy, what would you, well, obviously these are our favorite books, so obviously we're gonna rate them pretty high. You didn't have any complaints?
Yeah.
I love that book, by the way. Classic
yeah.
New Teen Titans, perfect. You cannot go wrong with it.
No, not at all.
All right, well, one more time, we're going to remind you guys to put your chibi request in the chat. Please hit like, please hit share. We are now going to go to Vinkman. Vinkman, please tell us about your comic choice, why you think people should read it, and why it's one of your favorite books. Excuse me. And Vinkman's not here, so we'll let Link go. Link, do you have a comic picked out?
Yes. I recently read New Teen Titans number 100 Till Death Do Us Part, which is the Starfire and Nightwing wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved it, and it became my favorite right away. As the story of it was really great, the art of it, I just love the art of the old 80s New Teen Titans, so...
That is 90s, baby doll. We need to get
Well,
you. We need to get you more
it-
New Teen Titans, because I think you'll love those.
It's 80s of the same storyline, so it's still the same Teen Titans from the 80s.
Right.
That's what I meant.
I don't hear a lot of people compliment the 90s Teen Titans, though. A lot of them are like, that's when the Titans were starting to go down. So I'm really glad that you liked it. Was there anything in particular that made it so likable to you?
When Raven showed up and she was like, "You didn't invite me," but she was actually not Raven. She was the actual 100 children of Trigon.
So you just like that Raven kicked everybody's ass?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. That explains it. Do you have any complaints with the comic?
It ended too soon. I have to
Fair
get the
enough.
next issue to be more excited.
All right, Vinkman.
Sorry about that.
All right,
Tell us. Mine is Thor Rebirth.
Ooh.
It's I believe a 72-page issue book. It's basically takes right after Ragnarok. So basically, if you've never read this book, this is 2007. This is right after Thor died. Thor comes back to life. He's still sharing the body with Donald Blake. I guess people don't like that, but the trade-off. He goes to Oklahoma, basically creates Asgard out of the ground. This causes a lot of commotion because this is right around Civil War, right after the math. And Thor basically confronts Iron Man. He says, "You know what?" Because Iron Man that he's gonna shove him around, tell me, "We can't do this." He's like, first, you basically break all your all your ties with your friends. you go back and you fight your allies, and it basically yells at me. Then you steal my genetic code. So then Thor loses it and just basically kicks the crap out of Iron Man the whole entire issue. Towards the end, Thor decides he starts reviving all his fallen comrades who were who basically their souls were basically in the bodies of humans. So he started reviving them, making them remember who they are. Starts rebuilding his army. This is leading up to Siege. So basically, if you've never read this, check it out. This is Jay Scott. I think it's yeah, Straczynski. That's what it is. That's what it is. So definitely check it out. If you like Thor versus Iron Man, and Iron Man thinking he's being cocky and then basically kind of take it down a notch. It's just classic Thor. So
I actually sounds really badass. I'm not even a Thor fan, but I'm definitely down with him kicking some ass.
Straczynski's usually solid.
yeah. So basically, if you've never checked this out, dude, pick it up, man. Like I said, it's 1 through 3 of Thor, so all in one book. So.
And I apologize for eating on mic, guys. I forgot to eat today. So when I
So,
got my food,
okay.
I was like super hungry.
I mean, you should apologize to me because you're eating while I'm talking.
I'm sorry, I'm hungry.
Only when I went to go, it was my turn. You had to start eating.
I was eating through everybody's things. It's just I forgot to mute myself. But what are some drawbacks to this comic? Is there anything that you don't like about it?
Well, that it wasn't. It didn't go any much longer. I mean, I would have loved him well, it's him versus Iron Man. I would have loved to see some other maybe Avengers show up. So basically Thor versus some other Avengers, maybe Cap show up at the end, like hey, because Thor basically was neutral at this point. If he'd gone through Ragnarok, he broke the cycle. Every 1,000 or couple of years, basically the Ragnarok would happen and they'd all die. But he killed the serpents. He basically broke the chain. So everything's all new. This leads up to Lady Loki in the next couple of issues. But yeah, I mean, the only drawback is it could have been a little longer.
I think that's what a lot of us are saying with our comics.
So.
All right, so before we start with mine, I want to tell you guys that this will be your last chance to put in your chibi request when I'm doing my comic review. So please put it in now, and we will pick the winner right after I am finished with my book, which is, shocker, shocker, a Starfire-themed book, or Night Star issue 1 from The Kingdom. And I picked this book because Mari is one of the most attractive comic characters in history, and I will fight anybody that thinks otherwise. And this was one of the books I read when I was around 11 or 12. I loved Kingdom Come, one of my favorite series of all times, and that's saying something since Starfire doesn't appear in any of the pages. And the whole premise of Night Star is the world's ending, Superman's going back in time, and they're all kind of going, why? Because it kind of brings the premise of if you can go back in time, should you? Because really, you're affecting other people's lives, and you may erase the existence of the people that are alive now. And it's just like you don't know if it's a smart idea. But Night Star's kind of we get to see a little bit more about Night Star. We find out that her name is Mari, and I swear to God, I'm sick of Starfire fans calling her Mary. It is Mari. Mark Waid said it himself. Mari.
Murray?
Get it right, people. Yes, Mari. Get it right, people.
Murray?
Jesus Christ.
Is it Murray?
But we see Night Star trying to stop one of her friends who's going on a rampage because he's upset that essentially they're all going to lose their existence or the existence that they have now. And it makes for an interesting dynamic because you get to see more about Night Star. You get to essentially see what was going to happen in the original Kingdom Come series if Alex Ross had more control over it, because originally Night Star was going to play a much bigger part. She was supposed to be the face of the new generation, and that kind of got pulled because of restraints. They wanted to make it more of a Superman story, but you get to see her and Dick Grayson kind of having that moment of, you promised you wouldn't die. Night Star's got a really big fear of death. She's like, you promised you wouldn't die, and we're going to die anyways. It's like, you lied to me. And kind of accepting that death happens, as well as realizing that she's going to try and stop their existence being erased. Now I picked this comic because I love Nightstar. I've been wanting to read it forever. And my only complaint is that the art is beautiful, but they have a lot of panel pasting. Like what they'll do is they'll just take a panel and then like copy and paste it and zoom in, which I get. There's a lot of time restraints, and this comic probably wasn't super popular at the time. But other than that, I'd say it's a pretty solid comic. It's got a conflict, you get flashbacks that are very well placed, you get character development for a character that's only got one comic to focus on her, and I find it to be a beautiful, beautiful comic. So I would give this one a 9 out of 10 just because the copy paste panels is really lazy to me. But other than that, I would recommend it especially if you are a Starfire fan. If you like Kingdom Come like I do, if you're massive DC, definitely read the Kingdom Nightstar. I love it, and you guys should read it too. Now, with that being said, we are going to go through this chat, and we are going to pick the chibi winner. And this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to read off the characters that are recommended, and then I want you guys to tell me if you guys want it. We'll play it like The Voice. How about that? So if you like that chibi idea, just make a honk noise, like eep or something like that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first one is Blackfire. The first one is Blackfire. Does anybody want to see a Blackfire chibi?
I kind of do.
You kind of do? Okay. We have a plus size Starfire. I swear to God, Spider Knight. I swear to freaking God. Okay, so 2 for Blackfire.
Yeah, Blackfire.
We have Shoto from My Hero Academia. We have Shoto. Okay, so 2 for Shoto. We have Scott Campbell's MJ. Does anybody want to see that? I can't even pronounce that, Jake. Somebody from Doroia? I know that anime, but there's no way I can pronounce it. GMT as a chibi for Chili on behalf of GMT. GMT actually just got a chibi recently, but Chili, you're getting Chili. Does anybody want to see Chili chibis?
Yay. Yes.
Chili.
Wait, can we each vote for more than one?
Yeah, you can vote for more than one.
Oh,
We're just trying to see who can get the most. Samus. Does anybody want to see Samus?
Yes.
Yes. So 2 for Samus. Shoto. We had 3 for Shoto. We had 3 for Blackfire. Raggedy, but with bear paws for hand gloves. I'm voting for that one.
I'll do
Yes.
What?
Well, if we can vote for more than one,
Raggedy with bear gloves.
if we can do more than one, I'll do the fat Starfire.
Fuck you. Bill Murray from Ghostbusters.
Yes. I'll say yes to that.
King from Tekken. I'm
Bill
not
Murray.
doing Tiger Mask Chili.
Wait, are we Bill Murray or Bill Murray? Like Black?
Bill Murray.
Okay.
Okay, so it's tied between Shoto and Blackfire.
Wait a minute. You didn't say mine.
What was yours? I didn't see yours.
New 52 Starfire.
Oh, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I actually wouldn't mind seeing that one.
Me too.
Oh, in
But-
that case, I take it away. I
Yes.
don't want it now.
Okay.
I'm voting.
So,
I'm voting twice.
All right, so we're tied between Blackfire and Shoto. So we'll let the chat decide. Do you guys want to see Blackfire or do you want to see Shoto from My Hero Academia? Either of them will be cool. Either of them will be beautiful. Blackfire is for Fire Moon. Shoto is for Risey. So just comment below which one you think should win.
I think
No.
Risey should win.
A deathmatch? Well, who do you think would win? Do you think
How about-
Blackfire would win, or do you think Shoto would win?
Why don't we just get a Blackfire versus Shoto Chibi?
You know what? That's what we'll do. We're gonna do a Shoto versus Blackfire chibi. That way, everybody wins. How's that sound?
That works.
All right, sweet. Thank
Sure.
you guys so much for watching. We do have. What did you say to me?
He
I
said,
do
honk.
have really big news though. Next week, John Boy Myers, the artist of Teen Titans Rebirth, is coming on the show. So please, 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 please come and check it out because he is so cool.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking forward to it too.
I know, I'm
Yep.
so excited.
Never heard of him.
Okay, but because of that, we will be reading Teen Titans Rebirth issue 1, and we are going to ask him questions because he is a very special guest, and he was so polite to be like, "Yeah, I'll definitely come on." So
Oh man, he's gonna get bombarded.
oh my god, he's such a beautiful person. I love John Boy Myers. He is my favorite modern artist, and it's going to be so cool to meet him. I am in talks with some other Starfire artists and writers. And it's gonna be so cool. Yes, Comic Book Club is always, we're gonna start it at 9 p.m. Central. Tomorrow is at the altar, and we have some really cool artists lined up.
Yep.
So please check us out. We're gonna have fun. Joshua,
Absolutely.
you're overrated. All right, Nacho, lay the outro, baby doll.
Just hear it playing. The beat inside your heart is rising so